morning, everyone. Good morning, respected adjudicators, honorable judge, and all participants. First of all, let us thank God for His blessing and grace, so that we are able to gather here today in good health and to participate in this debate session. My name is Rizkyani, and I will be your master of ceremony for today's debates. It is a pleasure for me to guide you through this event. Today's motion is, this House believes that mobile phones are not allowed at school. We will have two teams. The proposition teams will support the motion and agrees that mobile phones should not be allowed at school. And the opposition team will oppose to the motion and believe that mobile phones should be allowed. Both teams will present their arguments and respond to each other. I hope everyone can participate well and keep the debate respectful and engaging. Without further ado, let us begin the debate. I would like to invite the first speaker from the proposition team. You may begin your speech.
Good morning, honorable legislators, respected opponents, and everyone present. We are the proposition team. My name is Sakina Bidi Harsari, serving as the Prime Minister. Alongside me, Hilya Salsabila as the Deputy Prime Minister, Tiffany Putri Wan as a member of the government, and Muhammad Haris Mulyawan as the government whip. Today, we strongly support the motion, mobile phones should not be allowed at school. By this motion, we define that students are not allowed to bring or use mobile phones during school hours within the school environment. We believe this policy is necessary to create a better learning environment for students. First of all, bringing phones to school distracts students' focus in learning. Students often get distracted by social media, games, or even messages during class. Instead of listening to the teacher, they pay attention to their phones. As a result, their understanding and academic performance decrease. And the next one, the phones reduce social interactions. Instead of talking and building friendship, students tend to spend more time on their phones. This weakens their communication skills and relationships. They become less engaged with their peers and their surroundings. Schools should be a place with social skills, not avoid them. In conclusion, phones in school do more harm than good. They distract students' focus and reduce social interactions. For these reasons, we strongly believe that not allowing students to bring phones in school is the best solution. Thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker from the proposition team. Now I would like to invite the first speaker from opposition team. You may begin your speech.
Good morning, honorable adjudicators and respected opponent. First of all, I would like to introduce ourselves. Me as the leader of the opposition, Mirza Salahuddin, and our deputy leader, Petrina Hutapea, and our member of opposition, Safir Ramazaya, and our opposition whip, Intan Dwi Makassar. But before I come to my own arguments, I would like to have a look first at what our proposition has said. First, she said that phone distracts students. Well, in fact, phones, we could see in our classes that phones become our learning tools. Phones could help us in practice. Phones could help us in quizzes. Phones could help us in do some quick researches and do some writing documents and other things. And in fact, if we ban phones, well, we still see a lot of students still talking in classroom with their friends, still daydreaming and not doing nothing and not pay attention to teachers. So without phones, students can still be distracted by talking or chatting or daydreaming in their own mind. And second, Prime Minister has said phones reduce social interactions. Well, it actually depends on how they are used. Phones actually support collaboration through group chats and shared work. We see a lot that phones interaction a lot about studies including about making presentation together or making a document together. And communication or interaction doesn't have to be face-to-face. It could be online. It could be from Zoom meeting or Google Meet and some application. And that is all I could say from my own argument. Thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker from the opposition team. Now, I would like to invite the second speaker from the proposition team. You may begin your
Alright, thank you for the opportunity. So I will continue our case in a minute, but before that, there are something about the leader of opposition speech that needs to be addressed. That you say that mobile phone is help us to learning, and that if we use wisely, that this mobile phone can help us to learning. But in the fact, and one study that it can take a student up to 20 minutes to refocus on what they were learning once distracted. And cell phone is used essentially this day. Everyone from adult to young children has a cell phone. The use of cell phone is a problem we often face, especially when it comes to learning. But we firmly believe that the ban on bringing cell phone should be forced. As one of our Prime Minister has stated, not only do they disrupt students focus on learning, but also the use of cell phone reduce student interaction. And from UNESCO, the 2024 general version of our report, Technology on Her Terms, also laid out the way that technology in practice often exacerbates negative gender norms or stereotypes, and it can be the cyberbullying, the ease with which cyberbullying can be magnified through the use of online devices in the school environment is cause concern. And I have another example is of a ban bringing cell phone to school was implemented by West Java government, Deddy Mulyadi, and this rule was also welcomed by parents. And another example is Progressivity phone was found to have a negative impact on learning in foreign countries. This data from UNESCO, and removing smartphone from school in Belgium, Spain, and the UK improved learning outcomes according to study city in the report. Maybe that's all my arguments.
Thank you for the second speaker from the proposition team. Now I would like to invite the second speaker from the opposition team. You may begin your speech.
Okay, good morning, honorable educators, respected opponents, and all these house members. Okay, as the deputy leader of opposition, I would like to support my partner's arguments and explain further about why mobile phones should be allowed at schools. Okay, the first one, I would like to reinforce the point that you said before. Phone can distract students and phone can reduce social interaction. It is wrong. All of those things depend on the students, depends on the user. They can use them properly or not. So the problem is not from the device, it is from how it is used. Second, I would like to add new arguments. Mobile phone can support learning. When students don't understand the material, they can search for explanation.
The opposition claims that phones help learning, right? So if phones are really helpful for learning, why do schools still have strict rules limiting their life or their use?
Okay, you said before why schools have strict regulations. So it is because the school have their own regulations. Yeah, they need to control their students. Yeah, so they could use the phone wisely.
Okay, thank you.
Mobile phones also make learning more enjoyable. Instead of doing traditional methods such as using textbooks, they can use learning apps or websites. Furthermore, instead of banning phones completely, schools should teach students how to use mobile phones properly and responsibly. By allowing phones under the rules, students can learn discipline and self-control. In conclusion, mobile phones bring many advantages when they use properly and responsibly. They support learning and make the learning process more enjoyable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the second speaker from the opposition team. Now I would like to invite the third speaker from the proposition team. You may begin your speech.
Good morning, honorable educators and respected opponents. As the member of government, I strongly support the Prime Minister's case about mobile phones fairly distort focus, reduce real interactions, and create unhealthy dependence. However, our team goes further by showing a deeper problem. But before that, I come to my own arguments. Let's first have a look at what the opponents has said before. The opposition claims that phones help learning, but this ignores reality. Without control, phones are used more for distraction than education. Therefore, the overall impact is harmful, not beneficial. For this reason, their argument doesn't stand. And I would like to show my arguments for our team. Mobile phones can diminish academic honesty because students can easily cheat or search for answers instantly and skip the real learning process. This is not just unfair, it diminishes the trust in our education system because grades no longer show real ability. Second, mobile phones can weaken students' thinking skills. Instead of solving problems, students depend on instant answers. Over time, they become passive and too dependent, which goes against the purpose of education. So, banning mobile phones is not a restriction, but a way to protect students' learning and development. For this reason, we strongly support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you for the third speaker from the proposition team. Now I would like to invite the third speaker from the opposition team. You may begin your speech.
Okay, thank you. So, honorable educators, respect opponent, and all members of the House. As a member of the opposition, I strongly support my team, and then now I would like to rebuttal your opinion. So you said like mobile phone can decrease academic honesty and can skip learning process. So I totally disagree with you because I think like my partner said, it depends on school regulation. If it is school regulation, make a strict regulation like they need to use phone only for study, so that cheating will not happen. Okay, and then the second one, you said like the student thinking skills can decrease student thinking skills because they have instant action. Like I said before, it depends on their school regulations and depend on the student behavior, like my partner said. Because if it is regulation already taught like that, but the student the student have the behavior like that, it will make the regulation not happen so like that. And then sometimes, oh yeah, for your information, sometimes students use phone to search material and search like kind of articles, and that is why we agree that the mobile phone should allow, because it can help students to learn, it can help students to study, like my partner said, like they can, the phone can be the learning tools like that. So yeah, I would like to give my perspective. So mobile phone can use for time management. So when we bring the phone, so the student will know what time is it. So if it is we look at the, we bring the phone, so we get know the time, right? So
Instruction.
okay.
You can know the time just by the wall clock, not by phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it depends on the school. Sometimes the school, the clock, the wall clock is not, click click like that.
And the point, the school must provide the things,
Yeah,
not presents the phone, but presents the wall clock.
yeah, but we can use the mobile phone in another way, like something else, like study, can, like my partner said, learning tools, can, I feel like why I feel time management, because sometimes school doesn't have the good wall clock like that. So that is why not only for time management, but also it's useful for the learning tools like that. So yeah, do you understand? Okay. Okay. So we are strongly agree that phone should allow bring at school. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the third speaker from opposition team. Next, we will continue for the last speaker from the proposition team. You may begin your speech.
Okay, honorable adjudicators, respective opponents, and whoever is present here, for all of the reason, in the end, the motion must stand. In fact, we can see the results just from how two sides speak. Government side tell that phone can disturb focus and reduce the intensity of social interactions in the school environment. The use of phones in schools has more disadvantage than advantage. So it's better to prohibit the presence of phones in the schools. Yes, even though without phones, students can still be distracted by speaking each other with their friends or daydreaming or whatever. Now that the distraction is a lot of distraction in the school, and banning the phone is a good thing because it actually reduces the exciting ones. With the presence of phones at school, with the presence of phones in the school, will distraction disappear in the school? No. The opposition doesn't understand this point. Instead, discusses about student behavior depend on the student. It always like this. It is very out of the topic because attitudes can be controlled, and the ban of phones in the school is the one of a form of building a good behavior in the school. We have brought information based on the verified and credible data, but is still being refuted based on your experience, not by data. research that strongly recommends that a banned phone in the school must do in the school, but it was reviewed by you, and you didn't even do any research, just by your experiences. The purpose of our motion is prevent any bad possibilities from happening, but always returning to depending on the student, back to the regulation, always like that. Even though the banning of phones is also a form of regulation. Then the important point that is truly relatable is the lack of any solutions. I agree with my friend. I support my friend opinion. You didn't give any solution yet. Just I agree. Just I support. Don't give any solution. And then in the conclusion, the phone really had to be abolished because it caused many shortcomings and disadvantages, and you couldn't provide a good solution of this problem. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the speaker from the proposition team. Now I would like to invite the last speaker from the opposition team. You may begin your speech.
Okay, thank you. Honorable adjudicator and respect opponents and everyone who is present today. As our opposition whip, I will summarize why our team strongly rejects this motion. First, as my partner said before, bring phones can cause a lot of positive ways, such as my partner Sue said that it can be a tool that not in the traditional way to use always paper, but we can also use a modern way since it was a digital era. We can use and also learn by using the phone, and also for unhappy tools, such as the modern solution is we can use quizzes, and the traditional one is use paper, right? And also as the government we've said before about the behavior depends on the students. It was actually really connect by we use our phone in the school because it was how we going to grow. This is the lesson. This is the moment that how we control ourselves, how we going to grow by we control by seeing our phone. And also my friend said it was actually by school rules when we going to touch the phone or when we not going to touch our phone. But if you want to know the solution about it, for me, whenever lecturer said that it was time for exam, that you opposition opponent said that people can cheat, it was actually can by the school rules that lecturers should say that it was time to not use the phone, and the lecturer or maybe the teacher should keep it first. And lastly, school should also prepare for the students because we live in the digital era and students need to learn how to use technology. If you said that it's not, we can learn technology not in the school, but school can give a lot of information by we study phone in school. In conclusion, phones are not the problem, but the misuses which is how the people behavior, but how also the rules, and also phone can improve super learning and also improve safety and a proper student for the future. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the last speaker from the opposition team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's debate session. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to all participants for their outstanding performance as well as to the adjudicator and judge for their time and valuable evaluation. Hopefully, today's debate has not only been a competition, but also a meaningful learning experience that helps us develop critical thinking, confidence, and respect for different perspectives. Thank you to everyone who has been part of this session. Finally, I would like to apologize if there were any mistakes during the event. I am Rizkyani as your Master of Ceremony, and I would like to say thank you for your attention. See you again and have a great day. Thank you.